My name is Fabian Biegel and I'm a Senior Director for Digital Transformation at SAP in Germany. And as part of my role, I had the exciting opportunity to co-initiate Gaia-X in early 2019, which is fostering Europeans' ambitions for a next generation of an open, trusted data infrastructure. And today I'm also serving as a member of the board of directors of this initiative. Gaia-X has been initiated in the light of digital transformation and the rise of cloud, of data networks, but also in the light of challenges that we were facing, European players and also our partners worldwide in this context. So on the one hand side, there's a huge potential that digitization, that data provides us with. McKinsey and PwC, for instance, assess the market potential enabled by data to be around 13 to 16 trillion US dollars by 2030. So we clearly see the opportunities of data sharing networks and industrial ecosystems. While this value of data is increasingly significantly, we also need to ensure that this data can be shared efficiently. But even more important, that the data is handled with care and with trust. However, the reality was, and partially still is, that we are seeing a complex and heterogeneous landscape on the provider side in terms of different landscapes, different cloud infrastructures, technologies, services, and also legal framing conditions. On the side of the data networks, we are facing a lack of knowledge, of business models, of efficient ways to exchange data, the data models, the ontologies, and also the interfaces to do so. So what we're doing with Gaia-X is we are addressing these trends and challenges to build the next generation of a trusted, sovereign digital infrastructure for Europe. We are building a data ecosystem for innovation where data sovereignty is ensured for each individual, but also for each partner, being it in business, science, public sector, or society. We are strengthening the idea of a federated ecosystem where we overcome dominance and dependencies of single players. Doing so, we are setting a very high standard for transparency and openness for each partner in this ecosystem and for any technical service. We are strengthening the idea of a federated ecosystem where we overcome dominance and also dependencies from single players. We are setting very high standards for transparency, for openness of each partner in the ecosystem, and also for any technical service. That all to facilitate the flourishing of data-driven ecosystems for innovation that can rely on a trusted, open digital infrastructure. To achieve this common goal, Gaia-X is embracing two ecosystems. The data ecosystem, where we bring players together from any sector, we call them domains, to work on innovative data-driven ideas. We build out so-called data spaces to share data in context, for instance, of Industry 4.0, of energy, of health, of public sector, etc., based on common rules, on harmonized data models and efficient standards to exchange data. And that all to develop advanced smart services on top of it that leverage the value of this data. We do this, for instance, also with SAP and other partners in the project Gaia-X, where we create an efficient, agile, and sustainable supply chain for the automotive industry. These data spaces can rely on an ecosystem of technology providers who committed to join forces in decentral, federated infrastructure landscapes. They are developing portable, interoperable services that are meeting standards on security, openness, and trust. Gaia-X is also introducing a certification concept where we'll ensure that each service is meeting these requirements. We are building out no central hyperscaler. The more we are strengthening the potential of each single player and leverage the synergies between our partners, because we strongly believe in the power of the many in such ecosystems. To bring the players on the infrastructure side together and as a link between the two ecosystems, Gaia-X is introducing a common set of technologies and rules the so-called federation services. These federation services allow us to guarantee a harmonized concept for identities and trust, as well as a simple, user-friendly access to the infrastructure services. To optimally support these activities, Gaia-X has given itself an organization based on two major pillars. On the one hand side, the Gaia-X AISBL in Brussels, which is the central umbrella organization and also the home to the central decision bodies that are the General Assembly and also the Board of Directors, as well as the committees for the policies, the technical architecture, and also for the overarching data space orchestration. And on the other hand side, the national Gaia-X hubs that are the first home to the user organizations that are working on use cases and on the creation of data spaces. The Gaia-X community has in the meantime grown to more than 2,500 individual contributors and several hundreds of companies and organizations that joined us. The AISBL itself, as the central association, has grown now to more than 300 members. And they are focusing on those topics that require one central, orchestrated, harmonized approach that we summarize with specify, develop, and code. We specify the central technology components and architectural approach and gather applicable standards for the portability, for the interoperability, and for trust. We then establish open source communities to develop Gaia-X Federation services as well as other complementary software building blocks. And we define the conformity and labeling criteria and also the respective processes to ensure this high level of quality and compliance we are expecting. The Gaia-X hubs, on the other hand side, are the user representations in currently 15 European countries, and we expect to actually establish such hubs in almost any EU country over the next few months. These hubs bring Gaia-X close to the users and national associations and governments, and they acknowledge the local specifics with regards to language, to culture, to regulations, and also to the different industry landscapes. And at the same time, the hubs are also the link to other Gaia-X entities and allow us to efficiently exchange each other and also to benefit from each other's progress. We cordially invite you to dive deeper into our activities at Gaia-X, either through our website, www.gaia-x.eu, or via our accounts on LinkedIn and Twitter. And we'd love to have you as part of the Gaia-X community and to go with us on this journey. So do not hesitate to reach out either to me directly or throughout our website, gaia-x.eu/contacts. So help us to make Gaia-X a success for Europe's digital ambitions. Thank you very much.